It's been quite a while since we shot the last video, and today's video will be about menstrual cups. If you're on our Facebook page, you may have noticed we just added a new brand to our selection, and some people asked if that meant that we discontinued Lunette, and we're absolutely not discontinuing Lunette. Lunette makes a fantastic product and we're happy to bring it to you. But there were some things that made me think we should expand our offerings, and today I will tell you a lot, probably too much, on how I ended up with that conclusion. So today I will introduce you to the MeLunas. My realization that maybe a wider selection of sizes and firmnesses would be a good thing actually started with a visit to the gynecologist. And I got fitted with a diaphragm, was super excited about it. It was my first time getting a diaphragm, and I brought it home and from the pharmacy, and it didn't fit. And I was so disappointed, and I made another appointment for a refit, and I brought it with me, and the gynecologist was just convinced that this is the size that almost everybody wears, and the bigger size would just absolutely not fit and would just be awful. And I convinced the gynecologist to just give it a try anyway, and voila, it fit really well, and apparently it's not a standard size, so my pharmacy didn't carry it, and they had to special order it. And after 2 weeks I finally get the call. The first one came in this cute little paper bag. When I picked up my new non-standard size, it came in this shoebox size box. That's always quite reassuring right from the get-go. And it took me about 2 weeks until I was brave enough to even open it, because at that point I was kind of bummed out. They had to contact a sales rep to find this thing for them, and somewhere in some warehouse in Utah, some old stock, they still had this ginormous size diaphragm specifically for me. It may not even be approved for use in humans, I don't know, but they got it for me, and here it is. And so I got them. This is the first one, this is the second one, and they're about the same size. The difference is minimal, but the difference is one fits and the other doesn't. And that reminded me of a little problem I had with my Lunette cup. Some people will say that a leaking cup is due to weak pelvic muscles, but I'm no couch potato. I write, I do yoga and Pilates and martial arts. I've always loved my Lunette. Definitely more so than my Diva. The Diva has a round rigid stem and I wasn't a fan of that. The Lunette has a very flexible flat stem, and I was getting the Model 2. There's two choices, Model 1 and Model 2, but even with Model 2 I felt not totally secure. If I did something very active or if it was the first day of my period, I always made sure I wore pads as a backup. So I did some research on the internet based on my observation that a little bit of a size difference does matter, and I found MeLunas. And MeLunas come in 4 different sizes and 3 different firmness levels. So I ordered me the XL in Sport, and I tried it out at Aikido. It was the second day of my period, and that's usually pretty strong, and Aikido includes a lot of forward rolls and falls, and it takes 2 hours, so it's really go, go, go for a long time. After that, I was a big fan of the MeLuna XL Sport. 2 hours, no problems whatsoever, the seal held, and I had a great time, and I love this MeLuna Sport in XL. It is firmer, and it definitely holds the seal. Now, the only thing I can think of is that because of the firmness, it's always so harder for your internal muscles to dislodge it or to pop that seal when you do very active things. It's my explanation. There might be a different explanation for it. The drawback is it holds the seal. My 6-year-old is designing our evacuation to Mars, and he's doing all these plans for Mars domes, and that MeLuna Sport instantly reminded me of the Mars Dome because it holds the seal, and I think if he continues engineering Mars domes, he should definitely consider that material because It's awesome. Now as a drawback, removing it is a little bit harder. The sport version is probably not the best first cup, because it can be a challenge to break that seal. And if you have more than one cup, like I have the Lunette still, and I still use it on lighter days or when I'm not so active, because it's just a little bit softer, it doesn't have as strong of a seal, and it's easier to remove like that. There's also differences in the squishiness. As I mentioned, the Sport is the firmest cup from MeLuna, and then they have a medium which is called the Classic. That's kind of the firmness that probably will appeal to most people. The Lunette also has some firmness differences. The large Lunette is a little bit firmer than the smaller Lunette, and about comparable to the Classic. Model 2 in Lunette, just very slightly squishier than the Classic in MeLuna. And Model 1 in Lunette, a little bit firmer than the Soft in the MeLuna. The Soft MeLuna is a great first cup for teenagers. The size small is actually a little bit smaller than the Lunette Model 1. And the great thing with softer cups is that they're very easy to remove, they're very comfortable to wear if you've never worn anything before. The softer cups don't open up as well, as easily as the firmer cups, which is why I'm assuming Lunette makes the small cup in a softer material and their Model 2 in the firmer material. And this is also the reason why we carry the soft MeLuna only in a small. If you have a very soft material in a big cup, you have to keep turning and waiting for it to pop open. So if you have a larger cup, like a size medium and up, we recommend the Classic in the MeLuna. So to end this long story, I'm going to show you a lineup of all the different sizes that we carry, so you can get a visual idea. And again, just because one cup doesn't work for you may not mean that cups don't work for you. It may just mean that you need something a little smaller, a little bigger, a little firmer, a little softer. And I think with our new lineup of two great brands, we can give you lots of options there. Let's have a look at the comparison chart, and also be sure to consult the size finder or email me if you have any questions. Thanks so much for listening today, and if you have any questions, please email me at dominopats.com. Thank you.